You are looking at one of the most wasteful habits in many American homes, buying odor sprays, air fresheners, fabric refreshers, and room mists to fight bad smells. They are bought to deal with things like shoe closet odor, a musty guest bathroom, leftover cooking smells in a small apartment, pet odor near the living room, and stale smells in a closet. And most people's first reflex is simple spray it. Spray citrus, spray linen, spray lavender. Spray until the room smells like a store aisle. But here is the part that should bother you. In many cases, those sprays are not removing the odor at all. They are only laying a new scent over what was already there. You are not solving the source of the smell. You are mixing two smells together and calling that fresh. And while people keep buying one spray after another, there is an old trick so simple, it almost sounds too small to matter: a bowl, some baking soda, and time. No electricity, no aerosol, no plug-in, no artificial fragrance. Just a small bowl placed in the right spot, letting a cheap pantry powder do something many sprays do not do: well absorb odor instead of covering it. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you will see why this forgotten bowl trick still works, when it is worth using when it is not enough, and why a home that truly smells better does not always begin with adding more scent to the air. Imagine a Chicago apartment in winter. The windows are rarely open for long because it is cold outside. There is a shoe area near the entry, a heavy coat hanging close by, and some leftover cooking smell still sitting in the air from the night before. The apartment is not dirty, it is not messy, but it has a stale, closed-in smell that you notice the moment you walk in after a long day. That is when many people reach for an odor spray. They spray the air. They spray near the curtains. They spray the couch. They spray the entryway. For about 10 minutes, the apartment feels better. But when the fragrance fades, the old smell comes back, not because the spray was weak, because it never truly dealt with the problem. People in the past understood this much better. They did not always ask, "What scent can I add to this room?" They asked, "Where is this odor living, and is there a way to pull some of it out?" That is where the bowl trick becomes useful. A small bowl of baking soda placed in a closet, a small bathroom near a trash can, beside a shoe area, under a sink in a laundry room, or near a pet corner can help absorb odor gradually over time. It does not give you a perfume effect. It does not make the room explode with ocean breeze. It does something quieter but often more useful. It helps the air feel less heavy, less stale, and less loaded with lingering odor. And because it is quiet, many people underestimate it. They want an instant effect. They want a room to smell different in 3 seconds. But most unpleasant household odors do not disappear in 3 seconds. They come from damp shoes, not quite dry towels, a gym hamper, a cat litter area, a trash can, a closed pantry, the cabinet under the sink, a closet that is rarely opened, a slightly damp basement, or a bathroom with poor ventilation. Those smells do not always need more fragrance. They usually need better airflow, the real source handled, and a simple absorbent nearby to help with what remains. Baking soda fits that job well, because it is cheap, easy to find, neutral smelling, and useful in many small household odor situations. It is not magic. It is just an old principle. Instead of adding a new smell, you place a neutral absorber close to the odor source and let it quietly do its work. The method is simple. Take a small bowl and fill it with about half a cup to 1 cup of baking soda, depending on the size of the area. Place it where it will not spill and keep it away from small children and pets. Do not cover it. Do not turn it into a wet mixture. And do not expect it to work well if you hide it in a place where no air reaches it at all. For a closet, set it on a shelf or on the floor in a tucked-away corner. For a small bathroom, place it near the toilet area or under the sink where air can still move around it. For a shoe area, place it close to the spot where the odor usually builds up. For a gym hamper or laundry area, place a bowl nearby where the smell tends to linger. Most people already know baking soda can be used in a refrigerator. What many people forget is that the same principle can help in many other small, odor-prone parts of the home. Now imagine a laundry room in a suburban Ohio house. There are towels, kids' gym clothes, damp school shoes, and a hamper waiting for wash day. That room does not really need more fresh cotton spray. It needs wet items handled properly, better airflow, and something simple to absorb some of the leftover odor in the room. A bowl of baking soda will not fix a moldy towel that sat for 3 days, but it can make the room feel less heavy, while you also use better habits. Do not leave wet clothes sitting too long. Open the laundry room when you can. Wash gym clothes sooner. Do not crowd all the odor into one closed space. That is the most important point of this trick. The bowl works best as a support tool, not as an excuse to ignore the source. If the trash smells, take out the trash. If the pet bed smells, wash the pet bed. If the closet smells damp, deal with the airflow or moisture. If the basement smells musty, inspect the moisture problem or possible mold. If a bathroom smells like the drain, the issue may be the drain or ventilation, not just the air itself. The bowl helps with the lighter leftover odor around the source. That is what makes the old way different from an internet hack. An internet hack tells you one ingredient fixes everything. The old way does not say that. It says, understand the problem first. Use the cheap and simple thing first. Observe what happens, and if it is not enough, admit that it is not enough. There are places where this bowl trick makes especially good sense. A small closet, a shoe cabinet, a mud room, a guest bathroom, the cabinet under the sink, a laundry room, an RV, a camper, a guest room that is rarely used, a dorm corner, or an entryway closet. In those places, the odor is often not extreme, but it is persistent and unpleasant. A spray gives you a faster feeling. The bowl gives you a slower but steadier effect. There are also places where it is not strong enough. If your home has old smoke odor in walls and fabrics, pet urine in carpet, heavy mildew, smell from real moisture problems, a strong drain odor, a dead rodent smell, or a garbage leak, a small bowl of baking soda is not the full answer. Those situations need deeper cleaning, drying, washing, repair, or source removal. A simple way to understand the limit is this. If the smell is lightly living in the air, the bowl can help. If the smell is living deep in materials, moisture surfaces, leaks, or contamination, the bowl is only one small part of the answer. And that honesty is exactly what makes the trick more trustworthy. Many household problems do not need a dramatic fix. They need a right-sized fix. In a New York apartment closet or in a small windowless bathroom in Florida, the right-sized solution may simply be not adding more fragrance to an already stale space and instead placing a bowl of baking soda there for several days. You do not need to replace it every day, but you also should not leave the same bowl sitting there for months and expect it to keep working like new. After several days to about a week or more, depending on the space, it has done its part and should be refreshed. Some people like to add a few drops of essential oil to the baking soda. You can do that if you want, but understand that it starts moving the trick back toward the idea of adding fragrance. And in homes with pets, small children, or people who are sensitive to smell, essential oils are not always a great idea. The strength of this old trick is its simplicity. No new scent, no new coating in the air, no aerosol, no plug-in, no constant refill. Just a neutral absorber working quietly. Now let's talk about money, because this is very real for many American households. One odor spray may not seem expensive by itself, but like many household products, it lives on repetition. One spray for the bathroom, one for the living room, one for the car, one fabric refresher for the couch, one gel absorber for the closet, one plug-in for the hallway, one refill for the plug-in, one candle because the spray was not enough. You go to Walmart to buy trash bags and you casually add another air freshener because the house has smelled a little off lately. Each item is only a few dollars, but together, you are paying over and over to cover a smell that could sometimes be reduced with a cheap pantry ingredient and better observation. One box of baking soda can do many jobs around the home, and for this bowl trick, the cost is only pennies. No flashy packaging, no batteries, no electronic refill, no need to spray it into your lungs. No artificial fragrance hanging in the air. That does not mean sprays never have a place. If you want a quick freshening before guests arrive, a light spray may still be useful. If you cooked fish and want a fast temporary improvement while the windows are open, you may still prefer a quick spray. But it should not be your only reflex. If the smell keeps coming back, that is a signal. It is telling you that nothing was truly removed. Something else was only laid on top of it. This is the spirit of old ways that work. It is not about fighting every modern product. It is about remembering that many household problems were once handled with simpler, cheaper, quieter methods. A bowl of baking soda will not make your home smell like a resort, but it can make a corner of the house feel less stale, less heavy, and less bothersome for almost no money. And sometimes that is the thing you actually need. Old knowledge didn't disappear because it stopped working. It disappeared because modern life made us stop looking. A forgotten bowl with a little baking soda in it is not as exciting as a new spray bottle on a store shelf. But it reminds you of a simple truth. Bad odor does not always need to be covered. Sometimes it simply needs to be absorbed a little. While the real source is handled honestly, the old way was not primitive, it was practical. And before you buy another odor spray, look at the part of the house that smells and ask, does this place really need a new fragrance? Or does it simply need a small bowl, some baking soda, and a more honest way of dealing with the odor? Old ways that work.